This house used to be owned by another warlock.
He's very wicked, very powerful.
He left a hidden clock in the walls. We don't know what it does, except something horrible. Three gongs. Last time it was 4. What happens when it gets down to 1?
Nothing good, that's for certain.
Well, hello everyone. We're back again. I told you we'd be back again. I told you we'd be back with a new movie, and this is a new movie, right, Grandma?
It is new, yes.
And it's the house with a clock in its walls, which I think puts it right at the top of this year's list for the longest title of the year.
Yes.
It might get beat out at some point, but it's up there right now.
The house with the clock in
In
its
its
walls.
walls, yes. Based on a novel.
Of that name, I assume.
Yes, it
Okay.
is. Fantasy film about a young boy who's just recently been orphaned. His parents have died, and he's gone to live with his uncle, Jonathan, in this small town in 1955. So it's got lots of nostalgia swimming through it. The house is very strange. The uncle is very strange. The neighbor is very strange. The uncle is played by Jack Black.
Yes.
The neighbor is played by Cate Blanchett. Everything seems very strange, and he's a little scared, and he eventually finds out that the uncle is a warlock and the neighbor is a witch, and they have all sorts of magical...
Very talented. They're very talented.
Well, sort of. They're not the greatest. They're greatest sorcerers in the world, but they've got a few powers, and he wants to learn from them to, magic as well.
This sounds cool.
Well, he's not doing so well, fitting in the new school and everything. So he goes to learn that. They all become involved in a search for this clock in the walls of this house, which it turns out, I don't want to give too much away, when the clock strikes 12 or whatever, bad things happen. A lot of bad things will happen to everyone, and so they want to stop it, and so they try to stop it, and much fantasy and magic occur. What did you think of the film, Grandma?
Well, when our young hero, who...
the young actor is very good, by the way.
He is very what you believe him.
Yes.
From the time he enters the house, he walks in, and the place is full of clocks. I mean, clocks everywhere, every conceivable possible place you could be. That's the first thing that he sees. And there's also a chair that...
very affectionate chair.
that acts like a pet.
Likes him.
Yes, and Jack Black, his uncle,
Yes.
Uncle John.
Jonathan.
He talks to the chair. Stay.
So
Go.
what did you think of the film, Grandma?
I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was very imaginative, and went from one possible magic experience to the next possible magic experience. And it's like, as we mentioned, the young actor was very good with absorbing this new knowledge and, going a step further. Okay, what do I do? What do I do now? And his uncle and the neighbor, Cate Blanchett, were very somewhat pleased that he wanted to learn. They provided him with all these books, a stack of books. Read all this stuff, and he did. As a young learner who is studying something they want to learn.
A learner. Okay.
And
maybe a student.
well, he even tried to impress a boy he wanted to impress at school, with his abilities. And you'll have to go see the film to see how that turns out. It goes sometimes well and sometimes not. And it was very imaginative, I thought. What did you think?
So-so.
So-so. Okay.
It had some imagination to it. The parts I thought that were the best were the beginning. Again, him coming in, and we sort of going and then learning about this world with him, this house, and these sort of the people involved and everything. That all I thought was very interesting.
I was impressed because he wasn't nonplussed by it. You know, children that age, or, you know, what was he, 12, 13?
Well, he was scared at the beginning, but again, once he sort of learned it was sort of normal, he wanted to fit in, you might say.
Yeah.
The other part I thought that was probably pretty good was the ending. I thought that, again, that sort of got interesting, and how they solved the problem at the end was fine. The part that I thought that was a little messed up was them trying to explain this whole thing about the clock and the wall, and why the clock was important, and why the people who made the clock were important. And it seemed to me like they just threw a lot of magical mumbo jumbo all in a pot and stirred it up, and this was what they came up with, because it didn't make a lot of sense, I have to tell you, and it
wasn't clear enough for
it
you.
was hard to follow, and again, that all of that, it went by very sort of quickly, and they didn't really explain it very well, and you just sort of give up at some point trying to understand all of sort of what's going on. But, you know, it's pleasant enough. I thought, again, the actors are all very good. You know, Jack Black and Cate Blanchett. You know, what's to object to. You know, it all takes place more or less in the school and the house. Most of the movie is just
not
in
much
those,
outside, no.
That's pretty much it. But, you know, it's all right. I don't think it's anything special.
On the sports field, it's cool, you know.
Well, that's still school.
He didn't get picked for the teams.
Well, no, he wasn't on the athletic side.
No,
so,
he wasn't.
What would your final judgment?
I would recommend that you go see it. There were a lot of children in the audience with us when we were watching it, and they seemed to enjoy it. You know, I didn't hear any upset noises, you know, with the spooky things that happened
with the boy.
Yeah, he was really good in his part, and I think it's a one-thumb movie.
The one.
Yes, I vote for you to go see it, and I think you will enjoy it. I think so.
I think people would enjoy it if they don't really have that high expectations, you might say. It's all right, but not anything special. But
okay,
you may enjoy it.
So you're not really recommending it, but you're not saying don't go.
I guess that's good enough. Okay. That's close enough, Grandma. I think you got it.
And the house does have a clock in the wall. Yes.
They eventually find it.
Yes.
It's not too much of a spoiler
No.
to let you know that they find the clock in the walls
How they find
of
it
the
and
house.
where they find it, you know, that's interesting.
Yeah,
too.
you got to figure that
Yeah.
out. Okay, well, thanks again, Grandma.
You're welcome.
Boop, boop.